A nun from Northland who found residence in a convent in Wonhan City after taking part in a Mahjong tournament at the Mahjong Soul shrine. She has earned deep trust from her followers. Rumors about Lily are fairly polarizing. Some say her smile unintentionally triggers people's most profound and darkest desire, which corrupts them. Others say she is the embodiment of purity and tenderness, pouring her love and passion into all human beings. However, none of these assertions are supported by the monks around her. That's because no one can see through Lily's thoughts. Her past, present, and future are all shrouded in mystery. According to those who played against her on the mahjong table, she can read her opponent's minds, giving them no place to hide, and end up playing into her hands. That's how Lily remains undefeated on the mahjong table, making her a formidable foe.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to Soulmates, where we talk about all our favorite little guys in all our favorite little games. I'm Ivy Fox. You can find me at Ivy Fox Art on co-host. You can find the horror fiction podcast I'm making, The Mad Bird, on your podcast app of choice. Joining me as always is Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. I still live in the dirt, but it's pretty cold down here, and you can find me at www.ko-fi.com/Asherlark.
Our theme is by Sueños Electrónicos, who you can find at Bandcamp, and our cover art is by Rygarden, who you can find on Instagram. All our links, as a reminder, in the description. This season, we're talking about the characters from Mahjong Soul by Yostar and Catfoot Studio, a blend of cute and appealing anime girl with classical... just one girl. A blend of cute and appealing anime girls with classical Japanese mahjongs. In their words, not mine. Mahjongs. What if you want multiple of them? It sounds nice.
There's only one, though, in Mahjong Soul, and it's Ricci.
Well, they have all these fucked up little game modes and shit,
Yeah,
you know?
That's fair. Okay, yeah, no, I'll take that. Mahjongs.
Today we're talking about Lily Kitahara, and if you want to look at her with us, you can go to mahjongsoul.club/content/Lily Kitahara. Can I spell Lily Kitahara?
My favorite letters. Kita.
Shut up.
Never. I can't, or else it wouldn't be a good podcast.
Yeah, we should just sit here in silence for an hour and a half. That honestly, this
if
is
I've learned
avant-garde.
anything from the response to the last two episodes, it's that people would listen to that.
Have we gotten a response to the last two episodes? I think so. The main response that I've heard is our friend Jinx has told me repeatedly over the course of multiple weeks, hey, the thing that you said about Kaguya Hime willingly doing Order 66 was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Was really funny?
Yeah. Anyway, hi, it's Ash. Hello, Ash. How are you?
I'm great.
Great?
I'm great, yeah. But we have a great woman to talk about, so I'm really enthusiastic about it.
I'm very excited about this woman.
Are you excited about this woman?
I'm so excited about this woman, and I think this woman is excited about me, ? I can't really tell.
Okay. No, yeah, I'll say yes.
We haven't really, super dove into any of the kind of, characterization, voice work stuff. mostly because we're focused on images. But the writing and the concepting behind this woman are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Especially with some lore that we learned recently from a newer character.
Yeah. The Mahjong Soul lore.
Mahjong Soul lore.
I only read the voice lines, like, right before we started recording. And I gotta say, this was my first exposure to what Lily Kitahara is about. And oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Now that's a woman.
Now that's a woman. She can smell the fervent desire within you. Did you know that?
Yeah, she can.
She can.
She wants to see you tied up in a little red bow.
Forgot about that one. Wow, I really just want to sit here and read all of these out loud. I won't, but they're so great.
That would have been a better topic for our audio format podcast, you realize.
That actually makes a lot of sense, but...
It's like, oh, we're not focusing on the audio sort of, like, linguistic portion of the character. We're thinking about images.
I put a little bit of the voice acting into the episode, just so you get a taste, but no. Basically... how would I summarize Lily? She can smell the fervent desire within you. That's her default login response.
Yeah.
Like, pre-bond up. That's what she says to you.
Oh, God.
Like, the first time you meet her. Or every time you see her, like, when you two are just friends.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
She can smell the fervent desire within you.
The thing about Lily Kitahara is she's a nun. And
she's actually described repeatedly as a monk, which I assume has to be a translation thing.
I assume so, but she herself says that she's a nun.
Great.
Well, it says that, like, the monks surrounding her, right?
Her clothing is described as monastic.
Do nuns not have
She does
monastic?
call it a nun's habit, and she is a nun from Northland. By the way, Northland.
The Northland. This is an aspect of Mahjong Soul lore that I think they made up for her. No, because the little Red Riding Hood girl is also...
click on the tag Northland in her character page.
The Red Riding Hood girl is also from the Northland, but I think...
Okay, well, the only two characters in this tag are Lily and Eve, so...
Yeah. Anyway... Basically, here's the thing I want to say about Lily, is that she's a nun who is extremely horny, and also wants to be worshipped, and seems to, like, use her position as a, like, member of the church and of faith that people would put their trust in as a way to manipulate people into worshipping her.
See, that one's a little bit too real.
Her whole bond up, like, story is that she starts by, like, talking about, like, it's good to love God. And then she slowly starts to be like, aren't I God, actually? Aren't I God? Aren't I the only thing that matters to you? Makes you think. I'm also at the bottom of this voice line. Oh, all these are under the main voice line tab, by the way, on Mahjong Soul Club. I'm also at the bottom of that, and I would like to point out this illustration, this tweet illustration that's here.
Yeah.
That is her with Nanaho.
Great job. Good job.
That's two of the women we've talked about. That's all I really have to say. I mean, I have a lot to say about this image, in that it looks like it is censored porn. It has extremely strong censored porn vibes.
Oh, hold on. I really should look at it closer.
You know what I mean? This is an image you'd find on the internet with a link to the artist's Patreon.
Actually, completely.
And when you donate to their Patreon, you get the real image.
You get the image where they don't have any clothes on.
Yeah.
It's really great that she has 3 illustrations, and, like, one of them is just her, one of them is her with a bunch of other characters, and then the third one is her and Nanaha. It's like she was made for us.
It's like she was made for us. Well, she is our god, is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we worship her.
Wow. Yeah,
There's nothing that matters in
with
this
a great...
world but her.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all over, y'all.
Something's on fire. Hopefully that doesn't cause the power to go out again. Oh,
god damn it. Should we look at this woman?
We should look at this woman. I'd so often, like, prior to this, I had so often thought about Lily in the context of her Bond Up skin that I sort of forgot that her default skin is kind of chaste. Kind of. Yeah. This is good to me. I just love that she's just a bad person.
Oh, no, yes, absolutely. This is the thesis of this episode, is that this character is good and attractive because she's a bad person. For no other reason. I mean, not for no other reason. That's a bad way to phrase it. Not because they've, like, tried to make her extremely sexy.
Uh-huh. I can think of another reason why she's attractive, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Fascinating.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say it because you won't let me say it.
I think you're allowed.
Am I allowed? Well, now that okay. She's hot, she's mean, she's evil, and she's kind of mommy.
That's the problem, is that I disagree with you on that one.
Well, okay. See, this is also
I wanted you to say this so that I could disagree with you.
This is also a thing that they've added recently in the added Eve lore, which we'll talk about at some point.
Yeah.
Is that, like, a big part of Eve talking about Lily is how they used to raise kids together. They used to raise orphans at the church together. And also, there's we definitely don't talk about all the fucking cat chat stuff because that would be too much. But there was a cat chat which is sort of like this fake Twitter thing they put up during events where the characters tweet at you. There was a cat chat that they put up for the winter event, in which she just tweets out, like, love God, and then, like, 8 anonymous accounts tweet back at her, like, Lily, you're the best, I worship you, you're wonderful. Lily, please do this and this to me and with me. You can join in on this. It's great. And, you know, anyway, this is my pitch.
My counter pitch is that the idea of her raising children is, don't die.
Sorry, I'm drinking water.
I'm sorry, soda. I shouldn't have said that Lily Kitahara is not mommy.
If my life rests on whether or not Lily Kitahara is mommy. So choose your next words carefully.
She isn't. And the reason for that is, well, what can you do? The idea of her raising children is more appealing to me because of the fact that she's a bad person than the idea of her being nurturing.
Right.
I think her raising children and also sort of being a terrible human being is really good character.
Here's my Lily Kitahara headcanon. I think she's really good at raising I think she's great with kids. I think she's genuinely fantastic with kids and great at taking care of them. I think she's mostly just terrible with adults.
I can see that. I think she's just sort of terrible and, like, more focused on being terrible to adults than she would be at being nurturing to children.
Uh-huh.
I think she would be a neglectful mother.
We should talk about this images instead of sitting here and writing fan fiction, which is all I really want to do. I just want to sit here and write Lily Kitahara fan fiction because she's so compelling. Genuinely. Lily
Here's
Kitahara is good art.
She's good art. The thing that's compelling to me about this image, the brief overview of this image, the thing that stands out to me second, which I'll bring up first.
Okay, all right.
Is that she's wearing a nun's habit, vaguely. At the very least, she's wearing, the top of it. And then the rest of it is kind of, we get loosey-goosey. But
yeah, she's wearing like a nun's habit that has like a fur lining along
it's fur-lined. That was my bit. It's fur-lined. Because
great.
she's from the Northlands.
Because she's from the Northlands.
Which is like, what was the region of Japan that's like considered to be sort of the northern... What's being referenced here other than just Russia?
Okay, so we were talking about this recently. There's two things that the Northlands could be, and it's kind of ambiguous which one it is. One of them, hang on, I'm gonna Google this so I don't fuck it up. One of them
is Russia.
Right, one of them, if we think of her as, like, not being from Japan, like, she's that foreign, then she's probably from Russia. This is, like, reinforced by the fact that her name is Lily.
She's got blonde hair.
She's got blue eyes.
It's real cold.
It's real cold. The north...
It just started raining outside, so we're adding that to my room tone.
Island... The northern, like, part of Japan, is the Hokkaido region. The Hokkaido region, I don't know too much about this, so I won't get into it in much detail. But the Hokkaido region is kind of a colonized area. As in, like, the southern part of where we think of Japan, directly colonized that area, and like it has in many ways its own like distinct culture and stuff it's complicated. Again, I don't know very much about this, but I know these broad strokes, and I know that a lot of Japanese, in at least some Japanese media, when you get kind of like mysterious warriors and mysterious priests from the Northlands, those are often from Hokkaido. And they're kind of like weird in that way, weird and different in that way, because again, it's like a region that has its own culture.
There we go.
But she also could be from Russia.
She could also
just Catholic.
Be Russian.
Who knows?
She's from a place she's from what I can tell, it really is raining very hard. Sorry. I'm thinking about the audio experience here, and it's just really going. I literally
can't hear it. I think that's great.
Fine. Anyway, she's the place in the Mahjong Soul canon appears to be a place which is called Northland. And that place, presumably, but not for sure, is in the north.
No, it's in the north, because they always talk about it being cold.
Yeah, but it's cold there. That's the bit. And then also people from there are foreign. And their culture is different, and Lily Kitahara references how they have no room for soft personalities or something like that.
Yeah, this is also kind of Russian, but also, like, could be, again, I don't know too much. It's complicated. I know enough to say it's complicated.
So her habit is fur-lined. The first thing that sticks out to me about this outfit, which I'm now bringing up second, is the fact that this, like, dress part... pinches in so hard at the knees. Which is a thing
it does.
This is a thing that people draw.
This is a way that dresses have sometimes historically worked.
Sometimes people wear this. It's just, I bring this up mostly because I say, like, this image is pretty chaste. They're not doing a lot in terms of, like, trying to be sexy, except for the fact that just she's a woman. She's a woman, she's got long blonde hair, she's a nun, so naturally sort of unattainable, that's an appealing thing. But they do emphasize her figure really hard with a snatched waist.
This just fucking... What's interesting to me
and
about
the
this...
knees.
What's interesting to me about this dress is that it, like, is in this, like... First of all, I love her fucking shoulder pauldrons, like she's a fucking Fire Emblem character. She's got really strong, like, Fire Emblem priestess energy.
The other thing which makes her, like, vaguely Russian is the fact that all of this is, like, vaguely Christian, but also not necessarily.
Yeah, she has crosses on them, but they're not proper crosses. They're just
sometimes they are.
Sometimes they are. In her Banda, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think this dress is kind of interesting. One, again, in this way that is both very chaste and pays a lot of attention to her figure, which I think is, like, it's a little bit fucked up, but I think in this kind of, like, way that her character is, like, written and portrayed of, like, trying to drag you in by being kind of like normcore and then slowly like turning you into her sex pet. I think that really works for me, you know?
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about this dress to me is that it, like, the shaping of it and the shaping of the panels and this, like, big bow in front, give it this, like, interesting... It's definitely, like, a more, like, Western-style dress, but it's also a little bit reminiscent of a kimono.
Because the bow is like an obi.
Yeah. The bow is like an obi, and, like... maybe it's just that, like, most of the time when this game has kimonos, they are, like, split open in 8 different places, so you can see every single part of their body. And so this dress weirdly ends up looking more like a kimono, even though it's not a kimono, just because it's actually covering her about as much as a kimono would.
Here's a detail of this outfit that I'm kind of into. Speaking of those shoulder pauldrons, if we think of those as a distinct part of the outfit, for one, the shape of this dress is fascinating.
It's actually a cape. If you follow the shoulder down, if you follow that line, it's a cape that goes... around her shoulders, around her back.
The great thing about it is that it's got this little choker bit at the top, which I'm looking to the side over to the emotes. Is just really, like, it's pretty distinctively portrayed in all of these. I like it quite a bit. I
think it's nice. I think she's
just
got kind of a nice silhouette. I think it's kind of a good look. There's 2 really strong things I want to talk about, but again, I'm just gonna, like... I want to talk about everything sort of around her face, but let's quickly... She has fur-lined collars with this kind of, like, nice detailing, this, like, golden white detailing on her sleeves. I love that she's got this weird fucking... What is with her? She's so weird.
We're gonna... tease it out, don't worry. That's what the podcast is about.
She has this, like, her dress goes up, and then she has this, like, separate white bodice bit sticking out of it. I guess so that you can, like, tell that there's boobs there.
Yeah.
It's weird. It looks weird. I can't really wrap my head around how it's constructed. I can't tell if the dress, like, stops at her underboobs, and then there's something that's, like, an undershirt kind of, or like a bodice sort of poking out, or if that's just, like, still part of the dress and it's just been done in a white fabric.
I would be inclined to say it's still part of the dress. Really, though, this is a visual thing that they do with a lot of characters, where they just, like, do the boobs as a separate bit. Like, we talked about Nanaha last time, and we talked about the, like, turtleneck thing that she's wearing, like, ending right under the boob, or continuing down, maybe. We got notes about this.
We did get notes about this.
But, like, clearly, the underboob is where a new part of the garment begins.
Hey, by the way, if you have notes
so they visually set it off in a lot of characters.
If you have notes and thoughts about the show, I know many of you are currently our friends. However, you should send us thing. I don't know what they're called. Fake tweets. You should send us fake tweets on co-hosts to increase our social media engagement, and also to give Ash more things to do, because I think it's funny when Ash has to do things.
Hey.
She's wearing this fucking fucked up necklace.
Yes, God. I actually really love this piece.
Okay, do you know what this necklace reminds me of?
What?
Fuck. So there was this, I don't remember how I stumbled across this, because I don't really look at Twitter, but there was this, thing, there was this long Twitter thread, like continuously updated Twitter thread that someone semi-famous was making for a while about like an American elected official who they were convinced was in a dom-sub relationship. And
I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going.
They had a bunch
because
of pieces
remember,
of evidence.
Audience, this connects back to the necklace.
Because they had a bunch of different pieces of evidence. Let me see if I can. I'm just gonna Google while I talk. They had a bunch of pieces of evidence, including like the fact that she like wore a choker that like was subtly supposed to be a collar, and the way she talked about her marriage and her
all
relationship.
Chokers are subtly supposed to be a collar. Carry on.
I'm just. Will this get me there?
Surely not.
Okay, I can't find it, but I can't find the tweet thread. Anyway, and one of the things that she pointed out was that, like, not safe for work warning, but there's this, like, place where you can get, like, a necklace in the shape of a particular shot of your partner's bodily fluids.
Wow.
And she was wearing a necklace that was like something that really, really, really looked like that, but then with like another piece kind of over top of it, and it was clearly two separate pieces she had put on top of each other. And she was just wearing this out at public, and I am looking at this necklace that she's wearing, and this is my thought.
My thought is that it's like a snake. That's it.
So you don't think it's a cum necklace?
No, I don't have a whole story. I just think it's like this is why I really like this piece. Is because it's like, they could have done a necklace with a cross. That's the whole thing.
Sure.
And they didn't. They did a weird snake.
They did do a weird snake.
And that's great.
It is kind of like, it's almost like the fucking doctor symbol, the two snakes. I forget what that shit is called. You know what I'm talking about. Sure. Yes.
That's the one.
It's kind of reminiscent of that. It's also just kind of like a shape. Like, it kind of isn't anything. And that's sort of fascinating. She has so much symbolism on her body and her outfit, and then she just has this necklace that's just like weird swoopy lines.
I can't wait to get to the other symbolism. People, Caduceus is not the doctor one. I can't remember the name of the doctor one, but Caduceus is two snakes.
It's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People, you know what I mean.
People. Asclepius. That's the one.
Ash knows what he's talking about. Ash goes to school.
Soon I will.
Soon you will.
You want to talk about the other piece of symbolism?
Oh, you mean the fact that she has, like, a lot of lilies?
Yeah, the fact that she's, like, a lesbian? Here's the thing.
Go for it.
You talked for a while, and so now I get to talk for a while.
I'd love to hear you talk. That's why I'm doing this with you.
That's why we're doing this podcast together. Her, like, I am going to turn you into an immoral person thing is really, to me, cannot be separated from the fact that she is covered in lilies and her name is Lily and she's a lesbian.
Yeah, you mean the fact that her name is literally Yuri?
The fact that her name is Yuri and she's covered in Yuri.
Yuri certified.
She's Yuri certified. So she's a lesbian. Like, that's really interesting to me. I think I'm allowed to think this is great. We are allowed to think this is great.
I don't know, I was just accusing you earlier today of fetishizing lesbians, so I watch your step.
I won't.
Fair played.
This is great. Objectively, it's like not, if you're gonna make a character whose whole symbolism is about being a lesbian, and you also make them a nun who wants to morally corrupt you, you can connect the dots. That being said, Lily Kitahara kicks ass. So, like, she's great. Like, what can I say? This is a bad look. If we're not two queer people talking about queering Mahjong Soul, in which case, great work. You made a fantastic lesbian.
You made a fantastic lesbian. I just oh man, this is gonna lead to in a bad direction.
Yes, it
is. No, I'm not going to play this weird devil's advocate, but I'll walk you through what I was going to say, which is like
Ivy does not believe this.
Ivy does. The thoughts and feelings expressed on this podcast do not represent the views of the hosts of this podcast.
Saying them?
The people expressing these thoughts and feelings.
This is a podcast where we lie.
Yeah, this is a podcast where we lie. I'm like, is there a potentially reclamatory angle here where
yes,
the thing that Lily, if we sort of like alter our perspective on Lily Kitahara's whole thing that she does with you, and kind of like not assume this is so awful. Not assume it to be inherently abusive and manipulative. Which...
I'm reminding myself at every turn of this that you don't believe this and you're not gonna say it.
Which is tough to do considering the text. However, if we can get there, and we're like, she's a lesbian, there's an angle here where she wants to help you embrace your own lesbianism.
Yeah.
This is my devil's advocacy that I don't believe in.
You don't believe it, which is good because I don't want to do that. I want her to be evil.
That's fair. I mean, here's the thing. I also want her to be evil, and I also think that's okay. This is part of the problem with the fact that there are only 2 lesbians in this game aside from crossover characters.
Yeah.
Is if there were more lesbians could just be evil. And that would be okay.
This is the problem with media in general. But we're not assuming that Mahjong Soul is written to be good. Are we? We're not assuming that.
Wait, we're not assuming it's written to be good? I mean, that's a weird thing to say because
that's a weird thing to say.
It's all art is created to be good from a certain
be appealing.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not
Mahjong Soul
assuming...
is written to be cute and appealing.
We're not assuming that it's... I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this in a way that makes more sense. And the phrase that came into my head was, we're not assuming it's written to be morally upright. Which I don't think we are. We're not assuming that it's written to be necessarily like a coherent piece of media.
Okay, go on.
Does that make it better if the lesbians are evil?
If
it's not
fundamentally
really meant to
detached
make
from each other?
sense in the real world? That's not anything. That was my devil's advocate point that I no longer believe. No.
Oh,
but
fuck.
it's great for Lily Kitahara to be evil. It's fine.
Yeah.
But she is a lesbian.
But she is a lesbian. I think that... I don't know. On one hand, I could keep talking about this specific topic for, like, probably 3 hours. But on the other
because
hand,
that would
I
be,
don't
like,
know
a serious analysis of the state of, like, queer representation. Which we can do.
I wouldn't even do that. I can just turn this over in my head kind of idly forever.
Mm-hmm. Rotate an evil lesbian.
Rotate an evil lesbian.
Zoom in on an evil lesbian.
I am.
You're on Soulmates.
I like her little shoes. I'll say
yeah,
that.
they're tagged as pumps. She's got white stockings and white pumps.
They look more like flats to me.
They look more like flats. They're not really pumps. Well, you can't see any kind of heel.
You can't see the heel.
Her tags are monastic clothes, which is what bothered me originally. Blonde, white stockings, pumps, and Lily. She is tagged as Yuri.
There's only one other skin that has Lily in it.
What is it?
It's Saki's
oh my god
purchased skin from the Saki crossover.
Okay, because she's also a lesbian. Got it.
Because she's also a lesbian.
That's just true. I've been watching Saki recently. We talked about it. If there's nothing else I can say about it, it is that that's shoujo ai.
Can I tell you something about Saki that I learned recently that made me go, huh? Wow.
Go ahead.
Saki is written by a woman? I don't know why this was so surprising.
That can't be true.
No, 100%. Saki was written by a woman that, like, sort of idly looking through her other stuff she's made, I'm pretty sure is gay. I think so.
I don't think that redeems it for me.
I don't think that... No, I'm not trying to redeem it. I just think that's interesting.
It is really interesting, though.
And it, like, kind of makes me jealous, you know? I wish that I could be a woman. Well, I am a woman who is a lesbian.
You got that part down. What are you jealous of?
I've had that part down for, like, a long time. Since birth, basically. I did some other stuff for a while, but, you know, whatever.
Don't we all?
I wish I could be a woman who's a lesbian and also just, like, write... Be able to, like, get over myself and write art that's as trashy as Saki. You know?
Yeah.
That just, like, seems so nice. That seems so nice. And, so, like, I just want to write Saki in that it's, like, got sort of, like, all of the things that I like in stories. It's got, like, themes and arcs and, like, good ideas. And also it's just kind of funny trash. And I'm like, I wish I could just do that, you know? Instead of, like, being on my fucking high horse all the time.
God, instead of making a fiction podcast about how being queer is like being disabled, you could write a bunch of, like, real garbage.
Yeah, I could just write a bunch of trash Yuri and it would be great.
I write a lot of I'm not gonna say that. I write sometimes trashy queer romance, which I can't categorize as either yaoi or yuri because it involves a non-binary person. You question mark E. But the problem is that it isn't trashy. And so when people like it, I'm like, God damn it. Well, now I have to write more things that are like well thought out. I can't just write garbage.
Yeah,
because I haven't
I wish
before.
I could just write garbage. I wish I could make Lily Kitahara, who is garbage and also like amazing.
She's so good. I don't even have to have any other opinions about Lily Kitahara. I just really like her on principle, and I really like her upon further examination.
We should like talk about these emotes. We keep getting distracted by just talking about Lily Kitahara, which is great because that's exactly what she would want. But we should like do the show.
So this emote set I actually is, well, I think it's fine. I think when we get further,
a lot of variety.
Yeah, I think when we get further into it, I will, appreciate it because that's how this show works. But on a first glance, it doesn't have a lot of character, it doesn't have a lot of Lily Kitahara's character,
We'll
something
talk about this. I'm not sure I agree. Well,
it has one.
I kind of agree. Okay, let's go through it. Starting with 1. This one is really simple. It's basically just like a headshot of her. She's got her head tilted slightly to the side. She's got a little tiny circle mouth, and she's got a question mark over her head. That's basically it.
She's got a little orange background.
She doesn't really look confused to me. She looks kind of curious.
Puzzled.
Like, she doesn't look frazzled. She's just like, interesting.
I'm gonna go with puzzled.
Sure, she's puzzled. She's solving a... Oh, she's also got her finger kind of, like, pressed against her cheek, which I think contributes to my, like... Or she's, like, lifting her finger in a, like, excuse me kind of way. Again, this doesn't strike me as, like, she's confused or overwhelmed. That's not what this question mark is. She's just like, hey, what's up?
What's going on?
This is very interesting as a first emote.
Yeah, normally the first emote is either neutral or positive. This one is coming right out with a different thing.
A different thing. I don't really have any thoughts about this emote.
I have zero thoughts about this emote.
I think we should just move on then.
This one she's beaming. She's got... This is the second one. This is number 2. She's beaming. She's got stars in her eyes. She's got a little, like, yellow glowy background with these lines coming out of it that's, like, radiating and some sparkles. She's got some sparkles by her face. She's got her fists raised up in, like, a let's go kind of position. Her mouth is open, and she's got a little, she's got kitty lips. That's what I call that face.
She just like kitty lips. I can see looking at this emote and being like, because I'm doing it right now, and being like, this is not particularly Lily Kitahara.
That's what I think.
This is Lily Kitahara, like, she's just become Ichihime for like a minute. And that's fine. She's allowed to be excited. But yeah, this is just like, it's a cute little image, It's a cute image. It's a good little picture, but it makes her look like someone else. It also makes her look much younger. She has the face of a 16-year-old here.
We have to make that joke at least once in every episode and never
it's so funny.
Talk about it.
We haven't even done, like, the Fuji episode in the podcast proper. Anyway, yeah, I see what you mean.
There are other ways to do an excited, happy kind of emote for her. This wouldn't be it if I were, in charge of Mahjong Soul. It's cute. It's just a fundamentally different character.
How would you do it?
I would do it, like, with... I feel like we've done a character... I feel like we did... No, I'm just hallucinating. You could do like clapped hands off to the side, eyes like closed, kind of beaming, and like really pleased.
Really
you could do something like that.
Yeah, that gives her a little bit more sort of like of a dominating nature also.
Mm-hmm.
She's pleased with you. She's like, you did a good job.
Things have turned out well.
Yeah.
Like this that's the kind of expression.
It's not even necessarily that she has the face of a 16-year-old. It
definitely is that
she's
a little
too
bit.
like she's a little bit too like emotionally open here.
Yeah.
And in a lot of these emotes, I think they get better as they go along. But it is just a cute image. I think that I'm sort of turning around on the first one a little bit after this. I think the first one is pretty good. As kind of boring as it is, it's pretty good Lily Kitahara in that she's sort of like has this sort of bemused kind of distance to her.
Mm-hmm. I think puzzled is a good expression for like, I'm not upset by what's going on here, nor am I, like, really struggling to wrap my head around it. It's just sort of interesting. Which I think is great. Also, it's really similar to the pose in her art, which I guess is why they put that one first.
Her third emote is her crying. She's got little eyes that are triangles facing each other. She's got a big open mouth. She's weeping tears. She's got kind of like a light blue, slightly scraggly background. She's got her fists balled and like up at her eyes. She's crying. She's weeping. She's having a bad day.
If there's something I can say about these emotes as a whole, I think we didn't really address this when we were talking about the main art, but she's got like, it's not a boob window because it doesn't actually show any like cleavage. I mean, it would, I guess, if it were at a different angle, but like she's got an open, the only patch of skin that she's showing that's not her hands or her face is like a little part from, her clavicle. That's not anything. Like, the top of her chest down to the top of her boobs. And there's a little triangle out, because she's got the cape. So it's just a little thing. I think these emotes have a lot of trouble putting that in.
They also don't know how to render her weird cum necklace. It looks different in every image. And, like, it has kind of a consistent shape, but it's such, like, a weird abstract but weirdly detailed thing in her main art that they just never quite know what to do with it. Another interesting detail about the emotes is that, like, the cross on her habit, on sort of like the headband of her habit, in the emotes is a proper cross, and it's not a proper cross on the skin.
See, I think is fascinating. I was getting to that earlier because I was like, sometimes it is a cross, and it's a cross like that is properly proportioned in that the bottom part is longer than the top part in the emotes, but in the actual art, it is actually longer horizontally, and then the top and bottom parts are the same length. But then the ones on her, like, cape pauldrons are a little bit better proportioned. It's really hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. Anyway, do we have things to say about this crying emote?
Clearly not.
I guess we just want to talk about Lily Kitahara.
We do. Well, the thing, I can kind of see this one if I'm being generous. As a Lily Kitahara character thing, because she's manipulative. You know, she's expressing a negative emotion in order to get you to feel sympathy for her. But, I don't know, I go back and forth on it, because it's like, is this the brand of manipulative that she is? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is, going back to our first episode, this is showing weakness in a way that I'm not sure she does. Or, like, in a way that I don't feel is on character for her.
She wants you to worship her, not to, like, protect her.
Yeah, that's the problem with these, like, the second and the third emote, is, like, they're emotes that say, like, you should patronize me. And that's, like, kind of the opposite of her vibe.
Yeah. This fourth emote rules, though.
This fourth emote is good. This is a good Lily expression of negative emotion. Were you gonna?
I'll go. I was waiting to see if you actually had anything else to say about the third one, because I kind of interrupted you, but
No, that's fine.
No, there was really nothing to do. So she's encased in a block of ice. And that's really all I need to say about the emote. It's a little like, it's a blue glacier-y thing. It's not just a block of ice, it's like glacier-y, and it's got these little spikes on the bottom. It's technically a full body. She's got like, I guess her knees are
pressed
up?
to her chest. Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult to tell though, because like...
No, you can see her little feet.
Yeah, I guess. It's just kind of weird. And then her eyes are tiny little dots, and she barely really has an expression. So it's really like, huh? Or like, I'm shocked and upset, but in a unique way, because I'm from the Northland.
Because I'm from the Northlands, and so I'm in a block of ice.
It's really great. It's great comedy. I have nothing else to say about it.
Uh-huh. No, it's cute. I like it better just because it's like more distant. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. There's
a physical barrier between me and you, and it's this block of ice.
Yeah, it is still like vulnerable in a way that I'm kind of about, but it is also just like she's closed off in a sense.
This I can forgive.
This is an emote that you use when you're in third place and you haven't done anything the whole match. You're just like, I'm in a block of ice.
Well, I was gonna say this is the emote that I would use that's reactionary, but I'm not. There is another one, which we'll get to. If you can guess what it is, Ivy, you get a prize.
Shit. One.
We'll see. Go for it. It's good. It's good radio.
Is it 6?
No.
No
prize.
8?
It's 8.
Fuck! I was like, it's either 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Both of those are really good emotes. We'll get to them. I can forgive a show of vulnerability if it's just objectively like a really funny thing to do for this character.
Yeah, no, it's just funny. It's just good.
It's just funny.
Humor. She's a snow nun. She's in the ice. It's cute. I think this is a useful emote. It's a good, This is blocking in our ongoing fighting game analogy. She's in a block. She's blocking. It's a block.
She's blocking.
She's blocking. It's a block of anyway.
I would love to play a fighting game character whose block is encasing themselves in a block of ice and then breaking out every time they stop blocking.
There are
awesome.
a couple of Smash Brothers characters who have cutesy blocks. Holy shit! What the fuck is happening? These fire trucks are going wild.
It's a good sign. It's a good omen.
I guess so. Yoshi, when you block, goes into his egg, and I feel like this is
That's
similar.
pretty good. It's very much cute. Like this, yes.
Now we get to the second half of the emotes, which are the good emotes. I kind of like all of these at a glance. In this one, she is... it's very tight. This is like probably the tightest shot on someone's face we've seen. It's very close. She's only taking up like less than half the frame. Like it's so close that it only shows half her face. And there's kind of like there's probably a term for this, but there's like a streak of light coming across. The background is black. There's a streak of light coming across and then forming like a sort of explosion next to her head. And then she's sort of like got a very kind of flat, big, dark eyes and is looking off to the side and raising an eyebrow. And this is very like, you've caught her attention. But it's interesting in that it's like, you've caught her attention, but she's not reacting in a big way to it.
Yes.
The impression here is that like a big thing has happened and she's sort of reacting by not reacting.
This is the emote that you do when someone discards your weight. A big thing is about to happen.
Uh-huh.
Also, I just want to point out something about this art, which is that in order to preserve some legibility of her character, the cross has been artificially shoved off to the side a little bit so that it is still completely within frame.
I noticed this too. Her bangs also have been sort of shoved over. you can sort of like hand wave this as like a weird perspective
Oh,
thing.
you can. It's a thing that you do in the art in order to make it legible. I'm fond of it.
Yeah.
Just because I like art.
Shout out to art.
Shout out to art. This is a really good... You're right, this is a great character emote. I wasn't that fond of this one on first glance, just because it's, like... It came off as bland to me, because these really solid blocks of color, mostly. But I really like it.
The thing is that, like, most emotes aren't like this.
Most emotes aren't like this.
It becomes, like, walking through a classical... environment. What am I?
Mm-hmm.
Like pastoral. Oh my fucking god! I can't find words.
Landscape?
It's like walking through like a section of the museum that is all like detailed classical landscapes, and then suddenly coming across like a piece of really minimalist modern art.
As if you came across a Kandinsky.
Yeah, I was thinking
that's not a minimalist piece of modern art, but that's what I thought of before you finished your sentence.
Mondrian, that's what I was thinking about.
Okay, yeah.
It's like coming across a Mondrian. It's suddenly there's just big blocks of color that are demanding your attention. And I think it's good for that. And I think I really like emotes like this, where it's a very kind of like, it's a very safe option. It's a very like, it doesn't really express anything about how you feel, but it sort of throws something out there to like take note of something that's happened in a way that hopefully will make other people feel a way about it. But it isn't like it is very like safe in that it's very not, she's not vulnerable here. Which I think the framing really helps with. Mm-hmm. She's just like, something messed up has happened, and I've taken note of it. I've noticed.
The flat eyes really do a lot. I'm fond of the idea that this is, well, it's an inset shot. So it's like, if you were, watching an anime and this shot were happening, you would then get a shot of the character's inner monologue. So like, they don't need to be, performing a character in this moment, which means that she has a very flat affect. And I'm really into it as like, if that's the expression of like, inner,
Yeah, and there's
if that's the internality that she has, that's really great.
There's the implication of an inner monologue, and you can't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can read Lily Kitahara's mind. That's why she's never been defeated at the Mahjong table.
Her past, her present, and her future are shrouded in mystery. The sixth emote is also really great.
Ooh, that was nice and lyrical.
Thank you. She is holding up her fists, again, close to her shoulders, close to her chest. Her face is completely in shadow. The background of the image is just black. Even like her little flower.
But yeah, there's a little bit of purple in the background.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice. Even her flower is like in shadow, which I think is a really great detail. And she's like got her head tilted down. She's facing the camera, head on, completely centered. Like she is about to either hit you or like do something of that nature.
This to me is an emote that says, I am God.
Mm-hmm.
This is an emote that says,
I completely agree.
I am God, and you are about to be smote. I don't like, she's got her fists up. I don't feel like she's about to punch me. I feel like I'm about to get hit by like a lightning, I feel like I'm about to suddenly die mysteriously out of nowhere.
I will say, I clicked into this so I can see the little purple things you're talking about. You're right. But I am bothered a little bit by one piece of this art, and it's that she's got veins popping out on her fists.
Yeah.
It's like the sweat drops in the Kagehime Innocent emote, in that it's like, I would rather ignore this in order to have a different expression.
Yeah, I think it would almost be better if the hands weren't really there, or if they were clasped together, maybe.
That could be good.
I don't think it's interesting if Lily Kitahara punches you. Unless you're really into that. But I I think her wrath comes in a different way than direct violence. And that's just more interesting.
But this is a great, like, you know, this is a great expression of wrath at a small size that is easily readable.
Yeah.
I'm really into it. This is great. When do you use this emote?
That's a great question. I think that you have to use this emote. It's complicated.
It cannot be reactionary to me.
Why? Go into this.
It loses its power if you are like, I am going to hit you because you just wronged me or whatever. It's like, well, then you're falling petty. Prey to somebody else's, what's the word I'm looking for? Taunting?
Sure.
Provocation, that's the one. You can't be falling victim to somebody else's provocation. But I'm also not sure exactly when you would use it outside of that.
Right.
This could be an emote that you use when you've been in third the whole game and you haven't done anything.
I think this emote... I think of all of her emotes, this is a good emote to use when you reachy. There's something not quite there for me about using this when you win, but when you reachy and being like, I am ready to end your life, I think that that's a fairly simple but strong application. It's
pretty good, yeah. You could also do this at another time that like gives you an advantageous position, but you haven't won yet. Like you get a Pawn of Adora, and then you do your little
Yukita 3 times in a row.
And then you're like, I'm ready. It's good. I really like it. The next one, I'm surprised that you put this in the category of I really like all of these at first glance.
Oh, I love... What are you fucking talking about? Ash revealed to have no tastes.
Sell it to me.
Just like you, Yagi, you have no taste. So she's got a big beaming expression. When you zoom in on this emote, the line work is kind of weird, but I'm just gonna move past that. Although maybe that's... I don't know. We'll talk about it. She's got a big beaming expression. Right. She's got closed eyes. And she's got one of those little, like, party poppers things that you pull on the end and it shoots out a bunch of confetti, and she's pulling on it and a bunch of confetti's coming out and a sort of like bright pinkish red circles behind her. And she's like, yay, party time. Here's why this emote is good. This emote is good because it's her only emote, which is a shame. It's her only emote, really, except for maybe the first one, that really expresses that patronizing side of her.
Okay, I see it now.
This is an emote that you use not to celebrate your own win, but to be patronizing and petty towards other people. You know? Like, do you not want to be vulnerable if if someone calls 1,000-point hand, even off of you, you do this, and you're like, yay, I'm so happy for you. Wow.
Great job.
What a
that's
miracle
really
to win 1,300 points.
God is with you.
God is truly with you.
To be honest. I don't hate using this for your own win, also. I think this is not quite as vulnerable as an emote as, say, number 2. Where it's like, I'm really excited about this thing. She's got a moderated expression. She's pulling a little party popper. You know, let's do a little party.
Yeah, the pettiness of it works for me.
It does. I'm with you.
She runs community services and raises orphans. She hosts parties for people, and it's always she always thinks that this makes her a good person, you know? And that to me is what this emote expresses, and I think it's great.
You are right, though. This is a really weirdly drawn one.
The line art, but even looking at it now, the fact that the confetti is kind of like children's crayon drawings
it's good.
Almost kind of contributes to that feeling for me.
It's really good. I'm looking at how weird the mouth is, and the
mouth
cross
is
on the shoulder is very strange.
Wow, yeah, the cross on the shoulder is fucked up.
They crumpled it.
What's up with that?
They crumpled it.
They crumpled it. It's just like a shape on the fabric instead of like a thing made of metal, which is weird.
Can we talk about the next one?
Yes, we can talk about the next one.
This is my favorite emote in the set.
Okay, I'm glad.
I really like it.
Go on.
I'm drawn to an emote which I think expresses the character immediately and is like, this is what this character is about. I like an emote that's illustrative like that. This is Lily Kitahara in a dark room, and all of the colors are dark. The background is black. Nothing is the color that it normally is, and her eyes are glowing. She's got, like, a slight smile and, like, half-lidded eyes. She's leaning over, to the right, like she's, you know, leaning into your space. It is temptation or, like, I am corrupting you.
I can think of a word to describe this, and it's kind of a bad word. But there's no other word that I can think of to use for this.
Go for it.
Which is that there's something deeply predatory about this.
You're right. There you go. You got it. It's really, I can't be saying things like, I love this predatory...
I love a predatory lesbian.
I love it when things expressed as sort of abusive. Whatever. Say it with my chest. I really like this one. This is just like... Yeah. This is also a great one for, like, I don't know, this is great for any situation as an actual emote, in my opinion.
I like it in a similar reason to why I like the other one, in that it's, like, it's awful, and it's also kind of patronizing. She's like, there's a sense here of, like, wow, you did such a good job.
This is my welcome to the match emote.
For sure. Oh my god.
I got no notes. This one's just great.
It's great.
I love Lily Kitahara. I love this woman.
I love Lily Kitahara. Truly there is no god aside from her.
God bless.
God bless. What do I just call this episode? God bless?
Maybe.
Wait
until we... to see if we get a better joke.
Yeah, I mean,
in there somewhere.
I have a placeholder joke, but I'm sure we'll find something better, or I'll find something better while I'm editing. My placeholder joke is none for me, thanks.
No, I'm gonna veto that one right now.
Okay, it's not very good.
That implies that we don't like Lily Kitahara.
No, but it's NUN for me. Thanks.
I know. It's like, I know that you're trying to do like, yes, I'll have the nun, but. It still sounds like I don't really want it.
The nun, please. Your finest predatory snow lesbian nun.
Can I have your worst lesbian? Thanks.
This is me. This is me scrolling through Lex. Oh, fuck.
There's one more emote in the set.
There's one more emote in this set. I feel like we'll also, at least initially, feel differently about this one, because I'm fond of this one, actually.
No. Yeah.
She's crying a little bit. She's got her eyes are sort of welling up with tears. She's got sort of like a wiggly kind of like angry mouth, and she's got little dark squiggles coming off. She's angry. She's upset. She's sort of like holding it back.
There are ways that I could see this. Like, I was trying to briefly look at it through a very generous lens to try and understand how this could be a good character emote, and I was like, yeah, she does seem like she would be kind of, like, spiteful or, like, vengeful. Like, this could be that kind of thing. But it just reads like pouting.
Sure.
Which
at the very least, I'll say that this is better than emote 3.
Yeah.
I think that, like... There's like I think part of the reason why I like this is like would probably be the thing that the sense that I get from this emote that I like about it is sort of a sense of like, I don't know what to do with you. You know? It's a like, you've messed up and I'm frustrated. But also I'm generous. But also I'm frustrated. And this is like, I think in the reason why this works for me for like for our evil lesbian snow mommy nun, is that like, this is the emotion that you express when you want this is so awful.
I need you to say it with your chest, please.
This is the emotion that you express, which people have done this to me, both like family and people I've dated. This is the emotion that you express when you actively want someone to feel bad about themselves and about the way that something they've done, and think that it's wronged you without yelling at them, you know? This is how you express, like, I'm upset and you've hurt me, but I'm still gonna, like, take the moral high ground of, like, holding it in a little. And in this very particular and maybe even specific way to me, I look at this emote and I'm like, this emote is emotionally manipulative.
Yeah, I can see emotionally manipulative, if only for the little tears in the eyes. That's like, yeah, you got it on that front. It just doesn't read right to me.
That's fair.
I hear you.
Uh-huh.
I'm here for you.
Thanks. In this discussion of emotionally manipulative lesbians. Great. 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 Okay, can we take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
私ね、あなた様の体温を感じるのが好きなのですよ。この柔肌の下、細い血管に流れるぬくもり。実にたまりません。
I want to ask a question about Lily Kitahara, but it's something that we've decided we're not allowed to talk on the show about on the show. Do you think that she ever, or is she like basically a
Long?
That's an excellent question.
I wish we could have this conversation on the podcast, but it breaks one of our guidelines.
I'm thinking about it really hard, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But not on the podcast.
Okay. Hi, it's the podcast.
Hi,
I'll either include
podcast.
that previous conversation
No.
and just bleep out what I said.
Oh, that would be funny, actually.
Or we'll just start from here. Hi, it's Bond Up Lily Kitahara.
Yay.
Probably the best piece of art I've ever seen in my life.
Available after making a bonding promise with Lily Kitahara.
Available after making a bonding promise with Lily Kitahara.
We have to say this every single time.
Uh-huh. It is notable that the reason why Lily only has 2 skins is because she was a limited time event. She only has 2 skins and both of them are animated. Is she was a limited time event character. There was like for like a whole year they did like a limited time seasonal character every season.
Was she the one for winter then, I guess?
Yes, you guessed it. They're all themed.
Yay!
I missed the fall one, which makes me so mad because the fall one's really good, but we'll get there eventually. Okay. This is Lily Kitahara Bond Up outfit. There's, as is tradition in this game, Bond Up outfits have approximately 8 million elements to them.
Yeah. Can we talk about the background first, just to like get it out of my brain? Because otherwise I will be thinking about it visually the whole time.
Yes, for sure.
She's got lily flowers, obviously, everywhere, and lily petals everywhere.
Oh, huge lily flowers. Massive.
Huge Yuri.
Huge Yuri.
She's sitting on a block of ice, and there's ice shards coming out of the bottom. And then at the top, her head, this rules. Her head is positioned in the center of a cross.
Uh-huh.
It is the greatest thing ever, in my opinion.
I didn't realize this until looking at it this time, but like, what this image is telling us is that she is Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And then behind the
God.
cross, there is a snowflake.
There's a snowflake because she's the winter seasonal character.
Yes. Now we can talk about the outfit, and so I won't be staring at the background the whole time.
Can we talk about the outfit?
The fact that she's in the middle of the cross is the best.
Uh-huh. She's God.
There's no better representation.
Uh-huh. We'll start from the top. I really like that the habit is now a wedding veil also.
Oh my god, I didn't even register that.
The habit is no longer a like fur-lined practical piece. It's now flowing. It's got ornamentation. She's got this weird fucked up purple jewel thing on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's got like below the habit, it is what is distinctly to me a wedding veil. It's like a lace transparent piece.
That
and her habit is now a wedding veil.
She's got
I think that this is fucking great. I love to be married to evil lesbian Jesus.
She's got now, I know what the name of this thing is and I can't think of it, so I'm sorry to my mom. She's got like the part of the vestments that priests wear that's just like a strip of fabric that goes over their neck and then like hangs down on either side. She's got one of those that's flowing. It's not actually like around her neck or her shoulders at all. It's just sort of passively in the back and also looped around her arms, which is not how these things go, but like whatever. And it's meant to be one of those.
At the
it's
end
white
of it,
and gold.
It like goes into like this big sort of spiked circle, and then at the very end it has this weird symbol and this like gold spike. It's wild.
It's wild. It's churchy though.
It's churchy.
I respect it as a visual element.
She also has one of the sort of like church guy fuck. The church guys. She's got one of the church guys' collars.
Yeah.
Like the circle collar in dark blue, and then she has like a collared shirt, and then on top of the collared shirt, she has where like a tie would go. She has a choker. It's very funny. This like
it's good,
triple layered collar. She's kind of tugging at it too, which is interesting. On her arms, she has detached sleeves, ? That are
they
transparent
always are doing
blue.
Detached sleeves.
They fucking love transparent detached sleeves in this game. They're dark blue with sparkles. They're very formal, and then they have like dress shirt white
Yeah, they end in an
cuffs.
actual cuff, which is weird. I'm like, I kind of...
There are elements
like
of... Oh, I remembered what church guys are called. It's called priests. There are
I
elements...
said that earlier.
I know! Suddenly there are elements of her outfit that are not just nun, they're also priest, which is interesting.
I really like the kind of... There's multiple things about this Bond outfit which makes sense to me in the way that other Bond outfits don't. One of which is that after you make a bonding promise with Lily Kitahara, which I can't take seriously, she stops like having this chaste outfit where the whole appeal of it is that she's sort of unattainable, and instead she has an outfit which shows skin because you've attained it. Which is to say you've been initiated into her sort of, fully into her manipulations.
Right.
So I like, actually, as a part of that transition, that she starts showing more skin. It's appropriate for the moment. And then also, like, I love the combination of religious imagery. It's so, like, it's genuinely good art.
It's genuinely good art. She still has her little necklace, but it's sort of pulled up higher on the neck, mostly so you can see this weird... Her boob window got turned upside down, which I think is really funny.
It is now an underboob window.
It's now an underboob window, but also now lets you see very distinctly the shape of her boobs. She has this weird, like, extra collar spikes of fabric with crosses on them, with crosses dangling from the tips of them.
I don't get it at all. They're lacy. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
It's because she doesn't have, she now has massive side boob and nothing covering her shoulders and nothing covering, like, the side from, like, armpit down to mid, like, rib cage is skin now.
Well, to me, these, like, weird little dangling golden crosses from this weird thing, like, the positioning of them makes me think of nipple tassels, like a burlesque performer would wear. And they're basically... I look at them and I'm like, yes, these draw my eyes to where her nipples are. Gold cross nipple tassels, incredible. IMO. Incredible
Truly,
concept.
Really incredible. I also want to point out that you can barely see it, but you can tell that this is, like, super mega side boob, because you can also see a bit of the side boob on the other side that is not, like, the one that her arm is pointed towards you.
She's got this fucking weird white top thing. Below it, she's got this blue dress skirt thing.
They do this shape a lot with the bottom of the outfit, where it's like, for one, it clings to her stomach in a way that is fascinating to me. And I did not notice
her belly
before.
Button. This is why you zoom in on a woman.
It is not tagged on the image. I thought maybe it would be. Belly button, I mean. Anyway, they do this kind of shape where it looks like it's like there's two slits in it, so it's like a 3-piece thing, where the third piece is like a loincloth, and the other pieces are on the side, and they have thigh slits. But you can't really see the part of it that would be a loincloth, so it just looks like it has a side slit, like one side slit.
That's a great point. I'm looking at, like, the piece of fabric on, like, her left, our right, and I'm following the whole piece, and I don't know where the center goes.
It just seems like
really unclear.
Yeah. It just seems like a very precarious thigh slit. Single thigh slit.
Yeah. It's weird if you look at it for too long, so I'm going to stop looking at it for too long. I'm just kidding.
Good idea. We're going to learn how to do this better and better throughout the podcast.
I really like... So she has white stockings on. They have, like, a cute lace top. These are really nice stockings, genuinely. Also, they're drawn and shaded really nicely.
And they don't have a thigh squish.
They don't have a thigh squish, and part of the reason why they don't have a thigh squish is they have, like, actual, honest to God, fucking garters.
Yeah, they have. They also have cuffs.
They never have garters. Yeah, they have garters and a garter cuff for the garters to hold on to. They never have garters in this game, and that sucks because I think garters are hot, and good.
Fair enough.
And it's nice that she has garters, and, like, this garter is, like, drawn well, where it's, like, a little bit loose right now because she's sitting down, and I don't know if the proportions are perfect, but it gives you the impression that, like, if she stands up, like, it will draw tight and hold the stockings in place.
That part of the proportions is perfectly on point.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not sure if it's long enough, but it's hard to tell.
It gives some visual interest to the area of the image, which would otherwise just be an expanse of thigh and butt skin, which I appreciate because it's like, I don't know, they're not doing that in any other part of the image. It would be unbalanced. It's like, I'm not staring at her face, I'm just staring at her butt the whole time. Which I guess is what you want from me, but, like, I don't feel like it. Give that part of the image some other things happening so that I can move my eye around like a good piece of art does.
Well, yeah, and they do. And it genuinely helps.
And then these shoes
she's
kind of
also
rock.
Distinctly, I would like to point out, she is very distinctly not wearing underwear.
Yep. This is in a lot of these images as well.
Almost what?
This is in a lot of, again, I'm saying a lot of, and I think what I mean is, like, Nana had this. But they, again, with this, like, with this thigh slit kind of thing, again, they just, like, refuse to put underwear in it. It's two is a pattern to me.
It feels more noticeable. I can't even think of which Nana Huskin you're talking about.
Bondi.
Oh yeah. It feels more noticeable here. Again, part of it is just, like, how relatively chaste she is in her first art.
Mm-hmm.
We can move on. I just wanted to say that. There's implications. And also these shoes fucking rock.
These shoes rule.
They have like stars on them that are kind of crosses, but are also kind of just stars.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are some
I
like
didn't
Sailor
really-
Moon ass shoes.
I didn't recognize what the pattern they were trying to do with those, like, the gold filigree was, but I see the, like, star/cross thing in the center now, and it's really good. It's the same shape as the things that are coming off of her vestments.
Mm-hmm.
She's got this kind of, like, I imagine they're kind of doing it. I mean, I don't know. It could just be more cross-ish imagery, but it's also kind of a North Star thing for, like, her cold, Northland deal. But I really like, I don't know, I like the gold filigree. I like the gold heel of this white shoe. Like, it's nice.
They're just nice shoes. Yeah.
What I like overall about this Bond art is that it looks like Lily Kitahara.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is like, this so clearly progresses from her main art in a way that is so true to her character and like is so true to like her aesthetics and her like shaping and her color scheme. It's all still here, but they add a little more and they change a bit, and it's just good.
It's good.
It's just good.
We were looking at the like tweet illustrations of Lily Kitahara, of which there are only 3. And one of them is with Nanaha, which is the greatest thing ever. They made this woman just for us. But I was noticing, like, I hadn't looked very hard at the Bond Up image before that. I had just been looking at the, like, main art. And I was noticing that all of the art seemed to have this kind of, like, shoulder, side boob situation really prominently.
Yeah,
so the Bond Up art is really what is characteristic.
I mean, in my brain, like, I kind of forgot what the normal art looked like. When I see her, it's almost always the Bond Up. And like it feels more iconic than the default. In the same way that like the Sailor Moon outfit feels more iconic than just like Usagi's school uniform.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This is what she looks like when she's at her full potential. Like, really and truly. Like,
also,
there's
she's
a very...
in the middle of a cross. I'm not gonna get over that one for a little bit.
She is in the middle of a cross. I mean, she's God. I don't know what to tell you. Why would you need any other god aside from her?
Good point.
Good point. Should we talk about these emotes?
Yeah. The first one is her running along a sheet of ice.
Uh-huh.
It's a full body. I feel like there's more to this image that I'm not getting.
It does kind of... It kind of tells us how the dress works.
Yeah, just one slit. So, yeah.
Just one slit.
Correct.
And it goes all the way around. Okay, I guess that makes... Yeah, okay. Now that
She's got a little bit of a, like, an emote mark on her forehead that's, like, displeased, kind of, like... I'm never sure how to express this particular emotion.
Uh-huh.
Not, like... It's... whelmed. I will say whelmed. Neither overwhelmed nor underwhelmed. Just whelmed.
This emote does nothing for me. I have nothing to say about it.
I guess it's her running away. Maybe she's running away with something behind her back, because that is what's going on.
To me, this is her, like, getting away with something. And that doesn't work for me, because I'm like, why does she need to get away with things? She's God.
Her flat expression is something... It just doesn't add up to a clear narrative.
Uh-huh.
Which is why it doesn't make sense as an emote. Because I can't tell what it's supposed to express, because I can't tell what it's doing.
Uh-huh.
But she is running across a sheet of ice, because she's from the Northland.
Uh-huh. You gotta know how to run across a sheet of ice in high heels when you're from the Northland. I will say, the funniest thing about this emote is, like, how much it is failing to capture the outfit.
Yeah,
Like, this just looks like a completely different outfit.
You
and that's
cannot
very funny
do
to me.
a full body with the Bond outfit. It's a
Well,
bad
the thing
idea.
is, the next one does a better job of it.
That's true. Well, it's
this one just really kind of fucks it up.
Yeah, well, it's because she's, like, the right side of her body is facing us, which is not what's happening in the art. And because they didn't put a second thigh slit in, we miss part of the shape that is characteristic.
Yeah, you can't see her butt.
Which is a problem.
Which is a problem.
People, it would not be nice.
Anyway, next emote.
This one is funny, but not necessarily my favorite. This one is not as funny as Trapped in a Block of Ice. It is her. She's got little, like, upward facing, like little carrot symbols. Not actual carrots. The one on your keyboard. You know what I mean. For eyes. And then she's got a little open triangle mouth, and she's very pleased. And she is holding a giant cross above her head, about to hit you with it. There's something else going on in this image, I feel like. Again, because the Bond outfit is so... No, it's just her hair. Never mind. It's hard to parse with the hair and the veil and everything. She's gonna hit you with a cross. And she's really pleased about it.
I think it's funny just how... I think, if nothing else, it's very funny just how strictly blasphemous this image is.
Maybe so.
That's a lot of its appeal. This is like... I like this image.
It's funny.
It's funny. This is Lily's chainsaw emote.
It's also really mechanical feeling, which I'm kind of... Like, I like that for this joke. It's just, if you really want to examine it as a character piece, why does Lily Kitahara need to hit you with a cross? You're not worshipping God. You're not worshipping the Christian God. You're worshipping Lily Kitahara.
I think that's part of it, is that, like, she, because, like, that part of it has ceased to matter, the cross is no longer an important symbol, meaning that she can just
strike you with it?
Yeah.
That's
kind of fun. And it doesn't matter. That's
fun.
why I think this is, if nothing else, this is fun just because it's blasphemous, and this is her in blasphemous mode. Blasphemous 2 now available on the Nintendo Switch.
Wow.
That's a good game. I like the blasphemous games.
I didn't know.
Never mind. I'm not going to talk about blasphemous. Anyway, this emote is funny. It's cute. It's funny. It's kind of evil. It's good.
It's pretty good.
I really want to talk about the next emote because I think it's the best emote in the entire game. It
is.
In this emote, her arms are wide open. There's a soft golden light coming down from above. She has a placid but dominating expression. You can see every part of her. Rays of goodness are showering down through her and onto you as she beckons you into her embrace. In this image, she's just God.
Yeah.
And that's great. It's just a great image. I love an image that is, like, almost symmetrical. And the colors are really nice. The lighting is really nice. I love her expression. It's so unreadable and, like, almost cold.
It's so
she's
good.
God.
The radiant light. I was talking about the vestment. I really wish I had a better word for this, and I don't feel like looking it up right now. I was talking about it in the main art. And, like, kind of confused and not super into the way that it wraps around the arms because it's not really accurate or anything. But in this image, it works.
In this image, it's almost like it almost gives her wings.
It's
she's
just
very
like
angelic
she's
in
floating.
the way that she's spreading out. Yeah.
She's celestial. Like, it is.
Yeah.
That sells this part of the outfit to me, which
and
is something
like,
that is great.
The best part of it is that this, like, reasonably it captures the outfit okay, in that she's like this like loving nun, and also you can just like see her fucking weird boob window, and you can just like see her butt.
Yeah, this is a really great expression. This is a really great drawing of the outfit, which is,
yeah,
you know, and it doesn't look over, like, a lot of the problem with Bond emotes is just that they have too much stuff in them. This one looks, again, super natural, and supernatural. And what I like about this one, which impressed me immediately when I saw it, which is that it combos well with an emote from the main kit, which is to say that I think the experiencing God's wrath emote is a great combo into the I am God emote.
Fucking God. Yeah, you God's wrath, you're about to experience God's wrath them. And then you put them through like 20 seconds of torture time, turning into God and being like, all will be well. And then you hit them with a Baimon and explode them.
It's perfect.
Uh-huh.
I think it's so...
She's so perfect.
I think that it's the same... Like, the other thing about that is that these are in the same pose. Like, it's straight on facing the camera in that almost symmetrical, like, centered location.
Mm-hmm.
It works extremely well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
I think what we have to say on this episode of the podcast is that this is a really great woman.
The rest of this podcast is going to be so hard. We found the perfect woman. And where do we go from here?
On to other women.
Fuck. I guess so. We just talk about Lily Kitahara every other week.
Mm-hmm. She's going to be a great touch point for talking about great women.
She's going to be a great touch point. When we started the podcast, we were talking about, like, do we want to make, like, a tier list of women? Mm-hmm. And men sometimes. Do we want to make a tier list of Mahjong people just to be, like, it's funny. It's, like, a little lecherous. It, like, gives us a thing to be, like, working on and progressing throughout the show. And we turned this over and we were like, maybe we should do something, but maybe something a little bit different. And so, like, the rating system that I ended up pitching to you, which was that we rate them on a 3-dimensional scale. Mm-hmm. Dimension 1 is how cute they are. Dimension 2 is how appealing they are. And Dimension 3 is their Kinsey scale number.
Okay, now I have one now. For Lily Kitahara, but I can't talk about the other two. Because it's been too long and I didn't think about it. But Lily Kitahara, I feel like we discussed during the emotes that the emotes that were cute, but not good representations of her character. Mm-hmm. So her cute number is like, she is capable of being cute, but it's not, like, it's not in character for her to be cute. Which is like, everything's on a 0 indexed 0 to 6 scale, right?
That's correct. Just like the Kinsey scale.
Just like the Kinsey scale. It's like a 1. There are other characters who I think are not capable of being cute. So I think that she's, like, not quite there, but not cute. Appealing is high.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting. She's a bad person. But she's trying to be very appealing as part of that whole being a bad person shtick.
I mean, we can't stop talking about her.
So I think it might be a 6.
The 1-6, uh-huh.
And then Kinsey scale is, what's the number for which one is
6 is maximum gay.
Okay. I think that she would tempt a man incidentally. So like a 5.
I think that this is all accurate. Can I give you just like a quick thing for the other two characters?
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about this. I would love to. I'll try and make a visual for this. Mm-hmm. Kage Hime, I think, is pretty high on both cute and appealing. Mm-hmm. I think she might. she's at least a 4 or 5 on both of them. If you have opinions about that,
I
you're
think she's
entitled to
more
them.
cute than appealing, because part of her bit is that she's a mess.
Sure. So how about like 3 appealing, 6 cute?
Yeah,
We happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
I think the genders in Kagehime's mind are goddess and mortal. And so I don't think she different to the extent that
So exclusively
Kagehime has a
heterosexual.
sexuality. Yeah, okay. To the extent that Kagehime has a sexuality, which is complicated. You should listen to our first episode if you want to hear our thoughts on that. I think she doesn't care about your body or gender. And so I think she could be an X, but like she's just a 3. She's right in the middle.
3 is the accurate reading. I really want to push whether or not we want to give her a 0 for goddess mortal dichotomy.
I just think that, like, next to every other character, that will lose its meaning.
She's certainly not the straightest of Mahjong Soul characters. So, yeah.
Wow, I'm so curious what the straightest Mahjong Soul character is.
We're gonna find out.
Nanaha Onodera, you would not shut up about how not cute she was.
She isn't.
So
She does not have the face of a 16-year-old girl.
Shut up.
I won't.
I think she might be a 0 on cute. She ended up being more appealing than we expected her to be. So, like, I don't know. Do you have an instinctive response? How appealing is Nanaha Onodera?
4.
4. Okay. Here's my complex Nanaha Onodera Kinsey scale number analysis. She has a whole thing where she loves romance novels, but sometimes she reads other books and gets really, really into the topic of those other books for a bit and then drops it. And so I think what happens to Nanaha Onodera is that occasionally she'll stumble into a lesbian romance novel and she'll be like, oh, sick. What's up with, like, sleeping with women and being in love with women, and then she'll try that, like, very intensely for, like, maybe a month and then completely drop it.
I agree completely.
And to me, this is this is mostly heterosexuality, but more than incidental homosexuality. And so I think that she is a 2.
I agree with that. I was just thinking about as you were talking, I was like, oh, yeah, it does totally make sense that Nanaha is mostly heterosexual. I could only imagine the, like, recipient of her bond-up voice lines being a man.
But I think she does have a cycle of, like, occasionally she's like, oh, I'll try this thing, and then she tries it, and she's like, that's fine. I think it's interesting that the first 3 characters that we've talked about don't really see people as people.
Yeah. Which might...
This became an accidental theme.
It might be a pattern.
We'll see if it's a pattern in the whole game.
We will see.
These are 3 of the most, like, instrumentalizing characters in the game.
I'm interested to see if this is more of a pattern, and that because this game is designed to, like, have women who will love you regardless of your actual life, they have to be universally, like, accepting of who you are and therefore not talk about you as a person. Whether or not that, like, methodology means that these women are incapable of, like, seeming like they care about you. But the 3 that we've talked about very, very deliberately are in the realm of like, oh, I don't care about you. So
yeah, that's like their thing.
It's like their thing. So we'll see.
We'll see. Are we ready to randomize for our next?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right.
I want it to be as good as last episode's. I don't know if it can or will be, but it was such a beautiful moment we had together.
It was such a great moment. All right, I'm gonna hit this random button.
Okay.
Oh, shit! Wait! Oh, this might be too early. Because I had plans for when we rolled one of these characters.
Okay.
For us to do a bonus episode. Let me text you this bonus episode.
Please.
And then we can decide whether or not we want to do this now. Just typing it out.
Okay. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
We should totally do that.
Uh-huh. Should we do it now, though?
I'm not sure. It's too early. It's too early. We can't put out a bonus episode on episode 4.
I don't know.
Seems wrong.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, I don't want to...
Right, you don't want to break the
sanctity
integrity
of the
randomization. Uh-huh. It's tough. It's tough. Because I really don't want to do any of these characters without that bonus episode. For a lot of reasons. And I do want to do that as a bonus episode. I'm fine doing it now. But if you think that it's the wrong time, it can be the wrong time.
We can do it now. Let's do it now.
Okay, great. Great. So look forward to a bonus episode, question mark, coming next week? Coming
Maybe.
With the next... Maybe? Do you have some time to just sit down and do this thing?
Yes.
We'll talk about it. Great. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
たとえ神に見放されようとも。